What's going on, everybody? We got Talk Your Exposure, Season 1, Episode 5. I'm alongside with my co-host, Cy Samuels. We got the Humber, well, I don't know if they're alumni or if they're Humber legends. I don't even know what to call them right now, but we definitely off the rep from the beginning. This is more of a Humber conversation than really an RWI one. What's going on? We got DQ and Kevin. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
What's COVID been for you guys? We'll start with DQ there first.
It's been heartbreaking. Graduated last year, had a deal coming back, getting ready to hoop. COVID came, locked off our season, locked off the world. So I'm just trying to stay mentally sane, physically in shape. But during this whole time, I got to get close to my family, so it's not too bad.
And Kevin?
Basically just trying to work. And I graduated, so I was planning to go back, but since all this COVID stuff, might as well just work, make some money.
So how you guys been staying in shape? What you guys been
play some games. It's time for
play some games.
So I've been working with Coach Cyrus over there, Coach Cy. Working on my bag. It's about to be a scary season whenever that season opens. It's about to be very scary.
Whenever we get back to it, man.
Very scary.
So you know what? I'm gonna touch up on that one. Are you going back to Humber next year?
Yeah, I'll be attending Humber again.
Oh, where's the hat? Where's the hat, bro? You should have like a hat ready to bow.
I don't even have a hat. I don't even have a Humber hat. That's crazy.
And DQ, what about you? Are you how have you been staying in shape? What have you been doing to stay ready?
The same thing. It's a little bit different to me. I moved out of the city, so I'm a little further away now. But whenever I'm down there, coaching RWI, Monday, Tuesday, I'm in the gym with these guys. Coach Cyrus, Kevin, just trying to get right. That's all it really is, to be honest.
That's what's up. That's what's up, guys. That's what's up. So let's talk about your high school careers a little bit right now, basketball-wise. Let's talk about your high school careers. DQ, you went to Oakwood. Kevin, you went to CTA?
Yeah.
You went to CTA. First of all, did you guys ever play against each other?
I think I played. Did I play you?
Nah, I was gone.
He was older than me. So when I was in my grade 10 year, he was in grade 12 year.
Who would have won?
We would have lost though. We would have lost. Not strong, but I definitely would have had some buckets. We would have lost.
Yeah, with a 30-point L on your head.
That's okay, fam. At grade 10 putting up 30. That's fine with me. I have my type of girl.
The young boys.
Okay. So DQ, talk to us a little bit about your Oakwood career, man. Talk to us a little bit about accolades. Talk to us a little bit about being in Oakwood in general. That Oakwood philosophy. Coming off I don't know if you were there during those times, but when Oakwood won OFSA, go to a school of that nature, going to a school that's able to have a big basketball school principal behind you guys. Talk to us a little bit about stepping into a school like that and from grade 9 to grade 12 and everything that you achieved during those times.
Grade 9. First of all, going to Oakwood was a wild shot for me because it's way out of my area. Like for me to get to Oakwood was probably close to an hour every morning. So that was the first thing. So first when they accepted me, like, oh shoot, like I'm in. Because originally what people don't know is that my dad actually had me going to St. Mike's, all boys school up the street. Like you guys know St. Mike's. But then growing up grade 9, I'm like, bro, I'm not going to all boys school. Like, what is that? So ended up at Oakwood. Grade 9 year, it was a fun year. I think lost in the state championships. I played with guys like Khalif, Ahmed, Antoy, a couple different guys. Grade 10 year was that was the lockout year, and the whole city kind of we didn't have a season, so we played about 10, 12 games. Got locked out, and then that's the year I think St. Mike's or Car, like one of those Catholic schools, won it all. That year was kind of just a get ready year for me because the whole lockout, because grade 11 was the next year. Grade 11, I know you're gonna ask a question like best team I ever played on. I know you're gonna talk about Humber, but my grade 11 year when I played at Oakwood was that team. Our starting lineup had four Team Ontario guys on it. Most teams have one. We had 4 of them on there. Yeah, Saka Velch. Calvin was our one. DeQuon Williams, Russell Baker, Brody Clark. And who's the...
And let me guess, all 4 of them are 93, right, Si?
No. These are younger guys.
No, they're all 96s. 96 boys.
Yeah.
So those guys. Then the next 5 up was just as deadly. So that grade 11 year was definitely a learning year. If you knew me back then, I was this little skinny kid, just trying to hoop. Made the team. It wasn't like I was struggling to make it, but I was on the team. Got on there. Then from that point on, it was fun. That was the year we won OFSA at Humber College. We went, I think, 41-5. We played against that St. Mike's team with Nelson and those guys. Played against Carr, obviously, in the finals. With Anthony McNish, Marcus Bonnet. Who else we played? We played Camping guys. We played Vaughan guys, I think, the year after. So grade 11 year was fun. Finished with gold. Then my grade 12 year came around. Stepped into more of a leadership role. We finished third. I think third in OFSA. That year, it was still Calvin, still DeQuon. We lost to Pine Ridge, so I think it was Provo, Chase, and someone else on that team. Jordan Henry was on that team. That was in Windsor. Then my 5th year was probably one of the scariest teams I played for also. Kadre at Laurentian, Josie at Laurentian, Mudu, my boy Mudu, who was at Sioux, who over at Sheridan now. A couple of guys that play CIS, Alex. A couple of guys that play D1, Mate. So that year we lost to Carr in the finals. So over my high school career, I have all 3. I have a gold, I have a silver, and a bronze. So it was fun. Got to shout out, obviously, my coaches, though. Coach Miller, Kamaka, Norm.
They're still there.
Great coaches.
That's crazy.
So great coaches. Like that was the closest thing to a college experience that I was having before I even got to college. We had a head coach, assistant coach, then an assistant coach. We had skill development. Like, how many guys do you know have 6 a.m. practices in high school? Not a lot of guys. Not a lot of guys.
Unless I was coaching Downsview, then I know my Downsview team did. But
yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about your grade 11 year in particular, being I guess, junior or whatever, but talk to us a little bit about how it was playing with those guys that were top athletes, Team Canada guys, the Team Ontario guys, and what were the practices like in particular that helped you become the basketball player that you are today? Or better yet, did those practices help you become the basketball player that you are today?
First, those guys, those practices, basically, you have to be a sponge. I wasn't the youngest on the team because my cousin played a year up, Shaq. So that was that. But being one of the youngest guys on the team, you had to be a sponge because unless LeBron James came down the street, injected me with his skill set and his talent at that time, I had to just grind and get on when I got on the court. So it was just a lot about learning stuff that I didn't know were a part of the game, learning stuff off the court that impacted the game. So that became fun. Practices were a dogfight. Like I said, there's easily 11 guys. Obviously, the starters could start anywhere, but the next 6 guys up could probably start on any other high school team at that time. That's how good it was. So me being 12th, 13th man, whatever, how many guys we had that year, I was just trying to scrape and claw to get on the court. So when I had my chance to go at those guys, I went for heads. And if you guys know me now, like Steve, Sak, you guys know me, I go for heads now. So that's what kind of turned me into that guy now.
You do your thing. You do your thing. You do your thing. No big deal. We're gonna get into your scoring accolades in a little bit, but I want to hear from Kevin on the CTA side. Talk to us a little bit about your high school career. I know I actually heard about you when you were 17. I didn't hear about you before that, but I heard a lot of good things about you. To be honest with you, shout out Coach Chad to really boost you up and talk about who you were. So talk a little bit about your 4 or 5 years at CTA and what you've learned from there, what you were able to accomplish, and just in your own personal goals, like what were your personal goals going into that school?
So in grade 8, I was supposed to go to Oakwood. So I was registered to go to Oakwood. The day, I think it was the 2 or 3 days before registration, one of my old coaches that used to coach rep was also coaching at CTA. And then he's like, yo, come to the school. We can make a nice program, bring in some people. I'm like, I don't know. I want to go to Oakwood. You know, Oakwood's the school in my area because I didn't go to. I live where DQ lives, and the closest basketball school was Oakwood. So I was like, okay, I want to go to Oakwood. I want to hoop. I want to make a name for myself. Then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I'm gonna go to a school with a bunch of other hoopers and get lost in the mist. So I'm like, okay, let me just go to CTA and make a name for myself. I could be probably the guy there. Go do what I have to do. Probably bring in some reinforcements. So I'm just like, okay, I'll go to CTA. Grade 9 year, super shaky. The school wasn't like a basketball school, so like they were like tier 2. So we had to make our way up. Grade 9, I was by myself with one of my other friends, and one of my other friends that played me in grade 10, they came the year after. So grade 10, played junior, made a little name for ourselves. Grade 11, we started getting into big name tournaments. We played the Humber Classic, but I was small and I was skinny. I was not as skinny as I was now. I mean then, but I was skinny, small.
I'm like, when has that changed?
No, I got a little bigger. Don't do that. I got a little bigger, but I was small. Didn't have the bounce I did before. I didn't shoot as much as I did before. I didn't have that craft. So I was small. I was just catching, shooting, trying to get some lips over these big guys. I was in grade 11. It's probably like 5'6", 5'7". Trying to get some buckets, but it was okay. Played. My school was very small, so we were playing Humber College, grade 11. Wasn't a really big school, so the new name, we went against West Humber first game. That's when we played Keith, Tavel. Keith played on Humber, Tavel played on St. Clair, a bunch of other guys, and we were small. We got our ass kicked. It was all that year was just a year to just make a name for ourselves, put ourselves out there. We played with Angelo. He plays at George Brown now. One of my friends, Josh, that used to play at Centennial, went to Algoma. Mano Bant, he plays at Nebraska right now. So we just all people were trying to put our names out there. We weren't really in the basketball scene then, but soon to make a name for ourselves. Grade 12 of the year, we just wanted to, solidify ourselves. We came in, won. What tournament did we win? I don't even know what tournament we won, but we played Oakwood in the cities. Beat them. EQ wasn't playing on that team, but as long as I beat Oakwood in my career, I think I was good.
Well, you're lucky. Not a lot of people can say they did that.
Yeah, so they beat Oakwood, won cities, played tier 1 Officer that year, won that. Our team was pretty good. And then 5th year, that's what I would say. That's when I made my name for myself. A lot of coaches started to know me. Played with Peoples in the summer AU, went to Fab 48. We played NY2LA in Milwaukee. So that's when I started to make a name for myself and started to see that basketball was probably going in the way I wanted it to go. Had more confidence in my game. I started to get more bounces, dunking in games. Shot was better, could dribble a little better. And my 5th year, we won mostly every tournament we went to. Played at the Humber Classic, scored 40 in my finals game to be Vaughn. That's what kind of solidified myself. Played in St. Mike's, averaged 30 with my boy Josh. Won that tournament. That's when we beat Pine Ridge in the finals. Solidified our name there too. We played in a tournament at UFT. It was like a showcase tournament. Me and Josh played well there too. A lot of coaches, Mac, Queen, a couple other schools were on their radars after that tournament. Sadly, season went to an end when we lost to Oakwood in cities. I don't know how. We had a bad game, very bad game, but we went past that.
This guy's laughing.
It was very bad. I was sad, but all in all, I say my high school career was from unknown to known in the basketball world, and I kind of solidified my name through CTA. So I was pretty glad I went to that school.
So there's a question for both you guys. We'll start with DQ first. Talk to us about your recruitment process. You know, in your 5th year, grade 12 year. When was the first time? Who was the first coach, the first school that showed some interest in you and said, like, you know, started talking to you and talk to us about that process of being recruited. And it's always a fun time to be recruited. I remember that, like, I feel like it was like 30 years ago for me. But let's talk about your recruitment process though.
Recruiting, grade 12 year, I really didn't hear, and like the middle of the year, I really didn't hear anything. End of the year, that's when like people started to say, okay, like, you know what, like you could play post-secondary basketball. Like, I'll be honest, that's the difference between myself now and then. If I had the same mindset, I feel like I'd be in a totally different situation. I appreciate where I ended up and what I've done, but I feel like if I had that fire for me from the jump, I think I could have played a lot of places that where guys are at now. But so grade 12 year, decided to go back. Grade 12 year, first coach I spoke to me, I'm not sure, Si might know his name. Former George Brown coach, short white guy.
Bubba.
Yeah, I know by his actual name. I don't know by his name, but so that was the first guy that was on me. Like yes, that's what it is. So he was he came in contact with me, I think after like our first preseason tournament, my 5th year, and then from then he was at every game, in the same corner. He was there. He was on like, yo, like, yo, you could play whatever. I'm like, all right. Went to Humber Classic, had a great showing. Basically, what I've been doing there for 4 years, talking, scoring, defense, like a little bit of everything. And James DePaul came up to me at that time, like, yo, like, what are your plans? What do you want to do? I told him, like, school-wise, told him basketball-wise, and then that's when Humber came on. Then the coach at the time, Sean Collins, was also at every game. So legit, I had George Brown on one side, and I had Humber on the other side. And then for me, growing up, especially where I'm from, I didn't know about, like, going away for school, all that stuff. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm a city kid. Like, I'm not leaving, like, where I'm from, where I'm staying. Like, I love it too much. Like, this is perfect. Both schools are in the city. Get there, go home. Spoke to Centennial, like, once, I believe. And then there was another squad. I just can't remember the name at the time. But then George Brown was still there, but kind of started to fizzle out because I think what happened was he kind of noticed I was talking to Sean more. And like Sean was talking to my mom. Sean was at my off-season games. So then those two at the time were my the big recruiters, Humber and George Brown.
Okay. And Ottoo?
So when I was in high school, I just wanted to go away for school. I was so bound on going away university. And when I played at Humber and I scored the 40 in the last game, that's when Chad came up to me, Coach Chad, you know, shout out Coach Chad, started my Humber career. He's like, yo, like, where are you going next year? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't really got recruited because I was like, Humber class is one of the first tournaments of the year. And then he's like, yeah, you know, give me your number. I'll talk to you a little bit. So then he started talking to me. Then we played another couple tournaments. Then university started to get interested. Started messaging my coach. So I was just up in the wind. I didn't know what to do. So I was just trying to play out the season, see what's going on. And then, I don't know, team started realizing I was small, I guess. And I was just like, oh, okay. Humber was still interested. So I was like, hey, man, let's go with Humber. My guys are over there. Met Cy. So I was just like, let me go to Humber, see what's going on. Maybe I could make a name for myself to go to university like after 2 years. And then, hey, man, it's like Humber's it. So Humber was the home for me.
So knowing what you guys know now, you know, are you guys, I know DQ mentioned it a little bit ago, but you guys still kind of wish you had that, you know, the college career, or do you guys wish you guys did a little bit more, whether it's university or, you know, maybe a different school or whatever case is?
Kev, you can go first.
So I still have 3 years to play basketball. So universities, all the universities out there, I got 3 years. Way up. But yeah, I have 3. I'm going back for my 3rd year at Humber, so I'll be having 2 years after I'm done there. But yeah, I still have some time to go have my university dream.
but the question was more so: do you wish that you play university, or are you happy in the fact that you did 2 years of college first to get your name out there, or do you think that university would have fit you a little bit better, or are you happy with 2 years?
I think, to be honest, I think college was my best route to go for now, because I feel like I still have a lot of work to do, and I feel like my game wasn't at university level yet. So I think college really helped in my just where I want to be when I'm done basketball. So
Okay. And DQ?
I'm kind of split down the middle, to be honest. Super grateful for my Humber career. Like the stuff I got to do, people I met, like trust me, like wouldn't trade it for the world. But do I think that I've done this exact same thing university? Yes. Do I wish I had like this guy 2 years at 3 years in my pocket where I'm like, hey, let's go cash these out, see what that's like? Yes, but all in all, like it's a split decision for me. I'm happy. I'm happy with what I've done where I was at, but I feel like I wanted a taste of the university scene, especially like you know how the city is. If someone's gonna look at a university kid versus a college kid, they're picking a university kid just because he's at university. It doesn't matter what school. He could have been at like the bottom of the bottom school, averaging 2 points, because he has a CIS under his belt. People are gonna think, hey, he's better than that guy. So that's the only my little edge I have with this decision. But other from that, pretty straightforward.
So are you big with how you're perceived as a basketball player? Are you big with how you're perceived in the city as a basketball player?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Like I said earlier, I go for next. So people that don't know, they're like, hey, this guy's just a little college kid that hoops at Humber or whatever. So I'm like, okay, that's fine until let's go lace him up. Let's go see what's happening, because what often happens in my situation or other guy's situation, people hear, oh, that guy plays CIS. He's better than DQ. But then people that watch me play that actually know, like, against both parties, they be like, hold your horses. Don't underestimate that guy. That guy can hoop. Yeah, he's not playing CIS, but don't think he's like, walk in the park. And so for me, it's like anytime I get a chance to put on that jersey and lace it up, for me, it's just proving a point. Coming from where I'm coming from, where me and Kevin are coming from, a lot of people are like, okay, he's just playing just to play. Like, he's not really a threat. He's not really going to do anything until we lace it up and go on there. Then after the game, guys like, oh, like, yo, you could hoop, da-da-da-da-da. Like, most times when it comes to situations, like, for example, like a Pink City tournament or a Jane Finch Classic, guys are making their teams, da-da-da-da-da. Coach and I, okay, let's put this guy on the team. Unless you're best buddies with one of the coaches, hey, let's go get the CIS kid. Let's go get the D1 kid. Oh, that guy plays OCAA? Nah, we're not really interested in that. Let's just let it go. And I'm like, okay. Let's go lace it up and let's go see what all that talks about CIS versus college, because I played against him with some guys in OCAA that would easily take out some guys at CIS. So
fair enough. So you guys both step onto Humber College. You guys have obviously different times for you guys. DQ was rookie. I don't know when you were a rookie, but Kevin, I know you were a rookie a couple years ago. But you guys still stepped onto the campus. What was your first impression of the campus, and then what was your first practice like? What was your belief of practice like? Did you guys go in there saying, yo, these practices are gonna be fucking hard, or you guys go in there saying, yo, it's gonna be really easy because I'm out of college right now?
Should I go first?
Yeah, go.
To be honest, I already know, because when I remember I went to CTA, so as long as the guys are working, practice can be hard or easy. I don't think college is easy. People might think college is easy, but if you're not able to get a ring in college, then it's not easy. So I came in, I was ready to work, ready to learn from the vets. I was the new guy, so I was just ready to get big and just hoop, make a name for myself, and hopefully make an impact for my team to go to nationals.
Fair.
For me, it was kind of, honestly, I think it was easy just because of two things. Coming from Oakwood, if you know Coach Miller, Kamaka, and Norm, like I said, closest thing to a college experience. So my practices been hard for 3 years. So that's the first thing. Like when I went to college and I heard that we didn't have morning practices, I was shocked because I thought everyone did morning practices because I was doing it in high school. So that's one thing. But there's that. Then summertime, we had training camps. That was the closest thing to our practice before we got to practice. Training camps was 2 a days, lunch, next day 2 days again on like 2 or 3 weekends in the summer. So when I got to our first actual practice, I'm like, okay, this can't be that bad. There was days where I was like, fuck, I don't know if I can do this. But other from that, I feel like I walked into the scene pretty comfortable because of where I came from. The campus, I loved it. Honestly, my only time going there was those Humber Classics. Got to walk around, see new people, see like the college experience, and I'm like, yeah, like, this is crazy. For me, it was a little bit different compared to Kevin because the program I took my first year there, it wasn't physically at Humber College, so I was actually down the street. So like I would hop on the transit, get to Humber, then hop on the next transit and go down the street to my program. So I actually wasn't there as much as most guys are in the first year, but the experience I enjoyed. Like I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world.
So, what was your first practice like? Both you guys might have different stories. DQ, talk about your first practice without Kevin, and then talk about the first practice when Kevin was there. And same with you, Kevin, as well. We'll start with DQ first.
First practice, I think we ran for maybe like half the practice because what it was is that, like I said, we had training camp. So the stuff we're doing in training camp, we're translating straight into practice. So they expected us to know or have an understanding of certain things. And because we did it, like, hey, get on the line. Again, there was the learning curve for a lot of us because it was my first year. It was maybe like, I promised you guys, like 9 new guys on the team, learning names, learning who likes to be where, all that stuff. But it was definitely like a slap in the face for the first practice. I wasn't expecting to run so much in my life. And then that first practice, I was very quiet, you could say, compared to where I am now. And then that was basically it. Kevin got there that first practice. Kevin wasn't my second is your first year. My second is your first year, I believe. So that practice, it was. Yeah. I think it was basically it was the same thing. It was a lot more jokes, laughs, because again, when you have a year under your belt and it's basically returning guys, like you're a little bit more comfortable. You can crack your jokes. I wouldn't say like me and Kevin were side by side most of practice because I know him personally and I didn't want him to go through what I went through. But like any chance to get a water break or a huddle, like I was basically with him trying to talk to him and like get him like, yo, this is what's like, this is expect. Don't do that when coach is talking. Do that when coach is talking. So it was me being the new guy on the block to, hey, I've been here before. Like, let's just get this going.
And Kevin?
I'm a quiet guy, so I was just quiet, just looking at everybody, just laughing at the jokes that mans were busting. But I was just quiet, trying to hoop, and it wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't really anything like anything spectacular that happened. I was just really quiet, listening to everybody and just chilling, just trying to hoop. That's it. Serious.
I see you over there laughing, Sai. So chip in. let's talk about your first. I mean, you came in the same time as Kevin. Let's talk about your experience with Humber in the beginning.
My situation is a little bit different from both of them. You go from, I was just coming back to just have some fun playing basketball, so I can't really relate to their story. I've kind of been through the whole post-secondary practices before. It's like Kevin said, I was kind of, I wasn't saying too much because I didn't really know anyone really at that point. It was just a bunch of new young boys to me, to be honest. Kind of just came in. I've only seen DQ on posters before, so I just thought that DQ was one of the guys.
Don't do that, bro. Don't do
that. My understanding was that Kenny and CJ were the best players on the team the season before, so that was my understanding. Kevin Ottoo I've only heard because I was coaching, so I've heard Kevin Ottoo before. two high school kids, really and truly. But most of the faces there were brand new to me. Didn't know. I've seen Kerwin before, so I kind of knew Kerwin. Jerome is my age, so I know Jerome from previous years when I played. But other than that, I mean, there's a bunch of new guys, a bunch of young guys that I've never seen or heard of before. So I was trying to kind of just learn and adapt to the new surroundings and the guys that were going to be called my teammates. That year, especially, like, I wasn't even planning on really playing or staying on the team. I only really just got called into the whole situation because So my first practice wasn't even really supposed to be practice. I actually came because I was supposed to come talk to James, and James was supposed to help me get set up for school. And Chad's like, "Oh, we have practice. Like, you should like come check out the team and like come like maybe you can help with the coaching staff and stuff." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like, I'll come." He's like, "Yo, like, Coach said he wants to see you practice." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm only here because I wanted to like observe and see what's going on. Like, I want to see what the ties are." Like, "Nah, man." He says, you still have years left. Like, why don't you not see if you could still play? And that's how everything kind of started. But like, my first practice wasn't even really supposed to be my first practice. It was kind of just me getting tricked by Chad, to be honest. But yeah.
Fair enough. So let's talk about. Let's talk about your first year. I mean, obviously there's a viral video of you, getting amped against Sheridan and getting some key buckets. I guess that's why you're the poster boy of Humber, even though you want to try to be humble and say you're not. But that's why you're a poster boy at Humber. But let's talk about that atmosphere in general. You're a guy that likes the lights. You like the flash. You like the packed crowds. You like like you said, you like playing for people. You like people to know your name. So talk about that game in particular, about how big of a moment that was for you and just generally of your basketball career.
Honestly, like, I'll be honest. The guys didn't foul out. I wasn't on the court. We'll be completely honest. Maybe give a guy a breather, but that's basically it. When a cycle coach would say, when your number's called, make sure you're ready. And then my number got called, and even when it got called, it wasn't even in the position of, like, you're the guy on the court right now, you need to get us to this win. I was just, again, on the court. Guys started dropping out. I looked around, and I don't know what came over me. It's just like, yo, like, you got to do this. And then it's just momentum. There was the iron one layup. There was a free throw hit. There was three somewhere down the road there. It was just a lot. And then, let me say this. If you have not been to a Humber Sheridan game, please just do me a favor and go to one when COVID's done. It may not be the same because of COVID, but go, because it's probably, you have Carleton, Ottawa, Humber Sheridan. And guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but like, it's a serious atmosphere. And for me, that game, I was full of emotions. Like, being a first year guy, doing all that stuff in front of all those people, I'm like, that kind of what like shot my Humber career like in the right direction. And game was done, and I was actually just shocked. Like damn, like I did all of that, like because of me why we got this done. Like, and then you see what happened after that, all the other stuff that comes with being a good player. So that atmosphere. Number 2, then. Got Carleton, Ottawa. Then it's right there.
That was up. And Kevin, what about your experience against Sheridan as well? Like, talk to us a little bit about your first Humber Sheridan game.
To be honest, you guys were just saying that Sheridan they're just pests. They're just all over the place, trying to trap you, trying to get you scared, turn over the ball. So I started that game first time. I was like, oh, okay, pressure's on. There's bare people in the crowd. I was just like, holy. I was even nervous through the starting 5 intros. As soon as like I stepped on the court, I'm just looking at the crowd like, oh, there's a lot of people here. So then the ball goes up. I think we score our first basket. Then I think they missed, and we got the ball back, and they started to press, and I got the ball in the middle, and I got stripped right away, stripped. And I was like, oh, okay, hi. The jitters are out. They score, they get the ball back. We get the ball back. Oh, man, they're running at me. I was like, oh my God. stripped again. I was like, oh, okay. Now I have to hoop. So then games going by. And as soon as I get my first dunk of the game, that's an all like I'm hooping now.
Okay.
So Kerwin steals the ball. I get the ball. Boom. Hang on the rim. I feel the crowd going crazy. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a game now. So then after there, there's history. I started to feel comfortable, got my shot off, scored like 8 buckets straight. And then the game was pretty fun, just engaging with the crowd. I started doing a little taunt, get the crowd kind of hyped. So it just felt nice, I went to a small school, so we didn't have a crowd like that. But
I was actually about that too. I was to ask you about that too. I mean, you guys had your fans were like standing around the track or whatever at the top. So you might have maybe like 15 fans.
Yeah. So and there was cameras everywhere. So I was like, oh, like, what's going on here? Like, so it was a different scene, but I definitely got comfortable after a couple quarters.
Other than the Sheridan game, and we'll continue with you, Kevin. Other than the Sheridan game, was there any other game that you played in before, not excluding high school, college game, where you're like, yo, I'm nervous? And if so, how do you get over that?
To be honest, I'm kind of nervous before every game, but but I don't know. That's just me. But I kind of just say, like, you got to relax, breathe. You played basketball before. You know how to dribble a ball. You know how to shoot a ball. You know how to pass a ball. So you're here for a reason, and there's a reason why you're playing at this level, and you're playing at a time like this. So just relax and just play your game. They didn't recruit you for anything else but to play your game. So
and what about you, DQ?
It's kind of a tie for me. It's between, and this is for every time I step in that gym, any game that you have at Redeemer. If you've been to the Redeemer gym, you know, like that game always has me nervous. Like I could have had Kobe LeBron on my team, and I'm still nervous because that's how that gym scares me. And I can honestly say I don't think I've ever won in Redeemer my 4 years. Like at Redeemer, I have not won that gym. But that's number one. And number two for me, like A1, A2 would be, what people don't know is my first year after my concussion. Like come back from concussion, like you're just thinking one hit and like you could be done. So that was the biggest nerves for me, those 2 games.
So now we get into I know you guys both have an OCAA silver. DQ, you have a few of those, and so do you, Kevin. Both of you guys. Between the 3 of you guys have 7 OCAA silvers, 2, 3. Why couldn't you guys get over that hump, man? Like why couldn't you guys ever really get past that ability to win? And what do you guys feel like was the, and this can be completely raw, where you guys can say whatever you guys feel. What do you guys think was the biggest issue for you guys come those times? You guys take teams for granted? Did you guys say, I don't really care? What was the biggest thing for you guys? Starting off with Ottoo.
To be honest, I feel like we just always had a drop off. We'll play good, semifinals, play great. Come to finals, I don't know. It's not even that people say it's because we know we're going to nationals because we're in the finals. But it's not. We just have a bad game in the finals 2 years in a row. Last year, I mean, the 2018-2019 year, we played very good against Niagara, beat them by 50. So it was a lackadaisical game. And then we went to the finals and we hooped 3 quarters until that fourth dropped. We just couldn't score a basket. Sheridan's going on runs, and we just couldn't come back from that. Against George Brown, this guy DQ got fouled out. I mean, he got disqualified. Keith was hurt. I guess we just couldn't find any other sources. We were trying to hoop, but George Brown just kept punching us in the face. We'll have a little punch back, but then they just kept punching us, and then they punched us in the 4th, and we just knocked out. So the game was done from there. But I don't know. I guess we just have bad games in the finals, OCs. That's my experience.
Hey, Si, I see you shaking your head over there. Something you want to chip in on?
No, not really. I mean, I kind of agree with Kevin. I feel like when we play final games, the biggest issue that we've had is that we guys always gunning for us and we're not really gunning for them. Like we could care less. Like I feel like when teams face us, like that Humber badge, like to get that Humber badge, I remember, like even when we went to go play, what's that team up in the Mountaineers? What are they called again? The orange jerseys.
Mohawk?
The Mohawk. Even when we went to face Mohawk in the beginning of the season, and like we were supposed to go there and like slap them. Like I feel like games like that, like for us, like we're not as motivated to play, and then teams come out ready to fire against us all the time. Like I feel like we get that every game. That's the response we get. I think the only times we ever really motivated is to face teams like Sheridan and like Redeemer and like teams like that. But then when we face other teams, like, it's kind of hard for us to get that that mindset going that we usually have against bigger teams. Not necessarily, I don't want to say better, just bigger, like based on names, based on brand, like just based on that. Like I feel like that's been our biggest issue, getting over that hump. A lot of us struggle with that. It's definitely a young boy mentality, and we do have a lot of young guys. So I feel like that's kind of why it kind of played out like that a lot of the times. There's definitely a spirit of immaturity between our teams, and that's what has obviously prevented us from getting to where we need to get to. But it's just the reality that I feel like a lot of teams, like George Brown specifically, even they really had nothing to lose. And that's when teams are like the most dangerous, when they have nothing to lose. They're supposed to kind of lose to us. They already lost to us in December by like 30 plus. They weren't even supposed to make the finals based on rankings. So I mean, like that whole weekend was just a good weekend of basketball for them. So I feel like, based on that alone, like we're looking at it like we're supposed to win. We don't have anything to really lose. We're still going to nationals. I feel like that's just kind of things that kind of tie into why we're unable to perform at the level that we should be able to perform at. And then, obviously the stuff that we couldn't control, like DQ not playing, Keith getting injured, that kind of also put a big upset on the situation. But, more or less, I still feel even without those guys, we still should have been able to beat George Brown. Like we've done it with a lot less guys in December. So I feel like doing it in the finals shouldn't have been such a big issue, but the mindset wasn't there. The mindset wasn't there. I don't feel collectively as a team that we were playing as a team. I feel like there's a lot of, there's a lot of people playing for themselves, and there was a lot of, selfish individual stuff that kind of happened that kind of threw us off a little bit, and it was hard for us to get back on track. And by the time we did, it was kind of late.
And DQ, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I could completely agree. Like, I want to start it off with like I told these guys, especially with me not playing, like we had shoot on that morning, and I couldn't be sitting in the gym. Like these guys, my witness, I sat there and cried, and not because like I'm sad and thing, but just disappointed in myself because being leader, co-captain, whatever you want to call it, I should have been on the court at that time, and I wasn't. But that was that. Not being on the court, it sucked. I tried to do what I can from the sideline, trying to get these guys motivated, trying to get these guys going, but it wasn't working from the sideline. Like I had to be there. Sai and Kevin could vouch for this. Like you could say I'm the glue guy, the spark plug. When we start going like this, I'm usually the person to say, "Hey, let's get back. We're a family. Remember all one." So that was kind of the issue, that something I was lacking there, especially against George Brown. Like I said, we're not gonna point fingers on individual performances and how we played, but we should have and could have easily played a lot better. Like you said, I have 3 of those silvers, so that was just that one specifically. The year before that, it's like what these guys said. We walked through Georgian that year, Niagara, beat them by 50, and people are probably like, yeah, you guys should have beaten Niagara. But if you do Niagara that year, that team was a top 3 team, top 5 team over on OSABLE easily. They had an all-Canadian. They had a 6'10" center. They had 2 6'4" wings, and they had a point guard, 2 point guards who could really play. That team was really good. And to beat them by 50, like that was a statement game. And then we walked into Sheridan, and we got punched in the face. Year before that, because these guys weren't there for that one, it was the case of punch in the face. We went and beat the overall number 1 seed Redeemer when they had Rayvon and a couple of guys they have now. We beat them in the semis. We were excited. We were jumping around. Yeah, we're going to nationals. We beat Redeemer. We beat Rayvon. Like, whatever. Then we saw some bad dudes. Khalil, Rhino, and Daniel. Shout out to all those guys. Seneca, my guys. But those guys, Nabil, Issa, those guys came to play that finals, and they didn't even break a sweat. That's how it looked like. They didn't break a sweat against us, and so yeah, fear them. That's kind of why. Last thing, gonna close it out. Just that was one of the reasons why. For me, I gotta come back, because last year I was on the court. We lost. I took full responsibility. I didn't even care what happened on the court. Keith got hurt, so that's a different factor. But I had to control my actions, and I didn't. And I wasn't there to help you guys out. So, sure.
So now, knowing that your last game of this season was going to be against George Brown, there's going to be no nationals. Would you guys have played a little harder? Would you guys have done the little things right to win that game? Or would you guys still feel like if you knew that COVID was going to cancel your season, you guys would have still played the same way you guys played?
I'll let them answer. I didn't play that game, so.
I can't even say that it was – if we knew, we could have played harder, because we did play hard. There was not – we tried to play with the guys we had. So we can't even blame it on if we knew. We just didn't show up to the game, and we just lost. That's it. We didn't play our game. Nothing really you could say about that. We just didn't play our game.
Where did George Brown exactly beat you guys?
What do you mean, the location, or
No, like what?
On the court?
What did they do that put you guys in a funk?
They just had a lot of more. They had a lot of size compared to us. They were having they had 6, 7 bigs, and they were just outworking us. We would have a lot of one and dones. They would capitalize on those one and dones, and they just had a lot more energy than we did. A lot, and that changed the game, because they confident, and we were trying to be confident but faking the funk at the same time. So it kind of just wasn't it. Guys are arguing with each other, and after I seen the arguments, I'm just like, yeah, we're not winning this game anymore. Let's just pack it up.
And same for you, DQ?
From the outside looking in, it was all of those things. You factor in their size, they have 3-4 guys at 6'6" easily. So when you factor in energy, one and dones, and fast breaks, it's pretty hard to get over that hump. Because again, me and Keith were playing. Me and Keith are one of our top defenders on our team, guarding multiple positions. We were left in a situation where, okay, for example, I'm not gonna discredit, I'm not dissing these guys. They went hard for example, you want to have Fauzi and Kevin on the court at the same time, because they're guys. This is who's here. You got to play them both. But one of them has to get the point guard, and the next one has to go pick up a 6'4" wing. So usually if me and Keith are there, either me or Keith pick up the wing, and we move one of them to the guard, and one of them can take a breather. With no Keith and I, they both have to play, and they both have to go guard a 6'6" wing, a 6'7" wing at times. So, but they work their tails off. That's one thing. Being on the sideline watching, and I had that game saved on my computer. They not only them two as a team, they tried to get over the hump. We just couldn't get over the hump, and then it sucked that COVID ended the year for us, because we were geared and ready to go to clean us all up for nationals. But that's how it goes sometimes.
I know Sai has a question for you guys as well, so I'll let Sai go ahead with that one.
What? You mean the same question we discussed?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were going to tie it in with the basketball, but it's a little different. Okay, so I guess it's completely off topic. But what are some of the challenges that you guys, firstly starting talking from a personal standpoint, as I've mentioned before, I played at Queens, so and then I played at Humber after. Playing at Queens, I kind of dealt with some of the similar things that you guys have dealt with through your young careers. So my question to you is, and like I said, everyone kind of sees one side of an athlete. They see the side of the performance where you guys are playing games, having good times, a lot of popularity, posters being hung up and stuff like that. A lot of people fail to realize that you guys still have your personal lives to deal with as well. And you still have a lot of the challenges and a lot of things that confront those issues are, staple issues in your life. And, you still got to, as an athlete, you still got to make money. You still got to, do things at home. You still got to do your homework, little things like that. A lot of people kind of fail to realize that, and they feel like life is kind of easy. But, at the end of the day, there's still a lot more things that you have to do and kind of figure out as an athlete, and make sure that you're still in time for practice. You still make sure your schedule works. So with me, my mom passed away while I was playing at Queens. So a lot of different things kind of, funneled through. Because of that, I lost kind of a desire to play basketball, little things like that. But that's my personal issues. But with you guys, I know you guys have different things at home that you guys are facing. Some of you guys have faced similar things. And I just kind of wonder how you guys were able to still stay focused and compete at a high level while still, working out those things and situations at home. Putting time aside to make sure that you were able to get your mental right and still dealing with those things while still performing at a high level, because, for the most part, Kevin and DQ, you guys have both pretty much played at fairly high levels, especially both of you started for Humber. Both of you have put up a large amount of numbers in terms of your stats. And, you've accomplished quite a bit in your short time at Humber. So being able to still do that while dealing with stuff at home, how do you feel that you've been able to kind of manage that and then put that time management aside for yourself?
So the year before last year, my dad passed away. So I didn't want to play basketball after that, because he was like my basketball. He showed me basketball. Used to watch the Raptors, super Raptors fan. Vince Carter. I can't tell you how many Vince Carter jerseys we have in my house, but man, I was a super Vince Carter fan. So he just showed me like basketball, and I used to play soccer. But then he told me like, you could play basketball too. So he's the reason why I started playing basketball. And when he passed away, like I was like, yeah, basketball is just ripped away from me. Like that's gone. Like who's gonna be like? He was supposed to come back that year. He lived in Ghana, so he was supposed to come back that year and watch me play at nationals. So when I heard he passed away, it just hurt me, and I just didn't want to play basketball anymore. But something told me that, he's always going to be watching me, and my mom's still there. So he can just live through basketball through me. So that motivated me to just continue playing. But it was hard sometimes. Like sometimes I wasn't really up for games. Like you guys would even know, like sometimes I would come into the gym, I didn't want to play. Like I just want to go home. But I came to this game for a reason, and it makes me feel like I'm wanted, and it's like a escape. Like I just feel like I'm only on the basketball court and nothing else matters in life. So just dealing with that, trying to make sure my mom's good at the same time. It was pretty difficult, but I made it happen. So.
And UDQ.
Like for me, like over my time playing at Humber, like I wasn't close family, like what happened when Kevin or you with your mom. So rest in peace to both of those people. But like for me, I lost a lot of close friends in my time, and for me, it was just there was times where I know you guys both felt like, okay, like why am I doing this? Like there's other things that need to get done. Like a couple of us, like we gotta support our parents. We have younger siblings. Like everyone in different situations is kind of different. But for me, it was while going through those, it was finding the balance of your own time. And that's No basketball. Even people say basketball is life. It's not. Trust me, it's not. Put basketball aside. Put work aside. Put the girls aside. Put making money aside, and taking time out of your day, whether it's an hour, 20 minutes, 2 hours, and just whether it's reflect, relax, sleep, but do something that keeps you mentally sane. That you can just put everything aside. Because what's happened with me personally is that I thought basketball was my outlet. What ended up happening is that, say we're at practice and it's in the back of my mind, and these guys can vouch. You guys can both vouch. You guys know when I have those practices where I'm just mentally checked out. Whatever situation that has you messed up is in the back of your mind. You want to fight it, but like that's all that's on your mind. Boom. There goes your actions. Your actions show that you're not here right now. Like you're mentally out of it. Like what's up with you? So for me, I would even say basketball was an outlet for me. Like I would say getting your own personal time and space is a big thing. Like even away from your parents. Like what people don't know, like there's a time where I actually just like my dad, my mom, like, I'm like, you guys, I just need a break from everyone. Like I'm stressed right now. And I stayed with a friend for like 2 days, like one of the close friends, one of the man there, like we just stayed and just chilled. And I went to school, went to practice at home, but like it was just a break from your normal life. So any athletes watching this, I feel the biggest thing is find that time for yourself, because if not everyone's mentally strong, and if you're not one of those guys and you don't find that time, whatever it is, like I get it, some situations are different, but it could eat you up real fast, and you don't want to be in that situation.
So, as you guys know, Kevin Love, DeMar DeRozan's come out recently to talk about depression, and they both come out to talk about, the biggest factors of their basketball career in general. For you guys, do you guys believe in the same thing as they feel as men? Men, we're taught to hold our emotions aside and be strong people and on that nature. Do you guys feel the same way that we should be strong and shouldn't be feeling a certain way? And maybe is that maybe a reason why depression could be a big thing towards athletes in general? And do you guys feel like maybe just things of that nature where it can take away from your game, it can take away from everyday life, it can take away from who you are as a person, and kind of just not allow you to open up and express yourself?
I'll go. Kev, you can go. You want to go?
Oh, you
go. For me, when it comes to that topic, especially, like what people don't know, like, cause my guy Steve, like, I'll open up, like, I didn't go through depression, but we could just like, I was like, for me, it was like a form of like anxiety. They were like, when I went through situations, it hit me like pretty hard. Like what people don't know, I call it my stepmother. Obviously not actually my stepmother because of like legal reasons, whatever you want to call it, like relationships. But like my stepmother passed away when I was in grade 5, and that probably had me in a mental space for a good 2 years. What people don't know, and with that situation, I kind of built up a wall when it comes to a lot of things, feelings, all that stuff. Like I was, what everyone thinks is, oh yeah, hold your feelings. You got to be strong, gotta be man. And it wasn't really until maybe last year where I kind of decided like, that's unfair, because what I realized is that the way I was acting because of that situation and cheating others wasn't fair at all. So that was a time where I kind of broke down that wall and kind of just opened up. And speaking about that situation, got a lot off my chest. Like I felt weight off my shoulders. Like, it was good, but I don't think like it's not worth trying to be that strong macho, holding your feelings. Like it doesn't hurt. Like I'm not saying you gotta cry your eyes out 24/7, but if you have the chance, we'll talk about how you feel with anyone, your mom, dad, girlfriend, therapist, like, because like I said, eventually whatever situation is, it's gonna start eating at you, and you don't want to be in that situation. So when DeMar and Kevin Love were talking about those things, I was like, oh shoot, like I thought it was just me going through something like that, but no, there are people actually going through that kind of stuff, and those are the professionals. So if they could talk about, like, why can't I? So I don't agree with that macho man statement.
Kevin?
I could say I went through that macho man statement. I didn't want to talk to anybody about my feelings, and when my situation with my dad died, I kind of just held everything in and just kind of pretended like I was okay, and I really wasn't. I went through depression, obviously, because I really lost my best friend. But yeah, I feel like talking to at least someone. That's what I did. I talked to someone, like, but I was like later down the season. But yeah, I feel like talking to someone, just telling them like one, two things, how you feel, just even just hearing a response from them goes a long way. Just knowing someone's there for you and just always there to listen to how you feel is a big thing for me, because not a lot of people know how much that takes to just say something to them, even though you're going through that. Because when you feel neglected, it actually hurts, and it leads you to suicidal thoughts. So just being able to talk to someone about how you feel at that moment, or just calling someone, or just even taking a walk with someone, just goes a long way. So when Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan talk about mental health, it actually goes a long way, to be honest.
So I kind of want to add to that for you, Kevin. So you being an OCAA All Rookie team, you were Humber Rookie of the Year, and you're also an OCAA All Star. Do you feel like that was your dad's giving?
I just felt like I was playing for him, to be honest. It's just being able to just step on the court when he's not there and just play my game was just a big step for me. I feel like he was always with me when I was on the court and I had the ball in my hands. I feel like he would guide me in my shot when I shot, guide my layups, guide my dunks, everything. Just I feel like he was always side by side every time he ran. So that's how I felt when I was playing in those games.
And I'm sure, obviously, you put those awards to him.
Yeah, 100%. All my seasons that I play from now on are credited to him.
Good shit. And you DQ, damn, top 10 scorer at Humber all time. You know what I'm saying? You're 682 right now. You are 300 and 28 points away from getting the 1,000 club. Is there anybody in particular that you play for? When you play?
Obviously, like I just said, like my stepbrother that passed away. Shout out to him. But also my parents and my little sister. Like growing up, I was a middle child. It was all boys. It was all boys. Little sister got into the scene, and it's like again, like you see the society we live in. You see what females go through. You see what everyone goes through, and it could easily be your little sister. It could easily be your daughter. It could easily be your mom. It could easily be like any female in your life that could go through one of the situations that we see going on. So it's kind of a couple of people that kind of just tip my hat to them. It's like, yo, like, thank you for helping me, like, step on this court, do what I gotta do, and step off of this court, like, in one piece for the most part, because I'm always hurt. Because, like, for example, the guy from Florida, Keontae Johnson, like, he collapsed. No one knows what happened. American lose coma. Like, guys take playing the game anywhere for granted, because you could step on that court and anything happen, you may not step off that court the way you were when you stepped on. So I feel like that's the biggest thing when it comes to them. And yeah.
To touch up on that one as well, and this is open for all three of you, including Sai, if you want to chip in as well. What happened to Keontae in Florida? Does that ever like give you guys a secondary perspective and say, hey, maybe I don't really want to play sports anymore? Like, does that ever make you guys feel like, yo, like you just said, like I could legitimately walk on the court, literally walk on the court and then be stretched off the court? Does that ever like put a little bit of fear into your mind and say, yo, like I don't want to do that? Or do you guys feel like there's somebody watching over you and the God watching over you to protect you, make sure that when it's your time, it's your time?
100% say that second statement that you said, 100%. One of my friends, when I played in high school, had that same thing happen to him, and he hasn't recovered from it, and he's recovering, but he hasn't he's not back to his normal self, and he collapsed on the court too. He was in a coma for a couple months, and now he's not able to play basketball anymore, and he's in a wheelchair.
That happened in 2016, no?
Yeah, Mervante.
Yeah.
So I say, like, always play your best, because you never know when it's your time or what happens going to happen to you on the court. So I feel like someone's always watching you, and whenever it's time, it's the time. To be honest.
Fair enough. DQ.
Yeah, no, I agree with the second statement. I feel like if it's not a personal family member, if it's not someone that passed away, there's usually one person in the world that has you in their blessing that is watching over you, whether they're here or not. Like there's always a hand on your shoulder, and if it's not someone, it's the man above. I feel like there's always someone, trying to keep everyone safe in this world, no matter what situation you're going through. But alongside with that, like I never had that fear because like what people don't know, like how I'm scared about basketball in high school. I actually go play football. Like I had transfer papers ready. I was like heading over to Don Bosco, but like I didn't go. So like I was never scared of like that situation happened to me. But I always want to be protected when I stepped on the court, or stepped on the field. So
fair enough. Fair enough. Sai, do you want to chip in on that?
No, I'm pretty good. They pretty much answer everything.
All right. Well, and we're gonna finish the show off with some quick hitters. I got 3 for the both of y'all. So I got some 3 separate ones. One for Kevin. Top 5 artists of all time.
Top 5 who?
Artists of all time.
Don't ask me that question.
All time? I'm young, so I'm gonna go with the young hitters.
Your top 5. Let's do that. Let's do
my top 5.
Going on, bro.
My top 5, I would have to go with Drake being my first.
Mm-hmm.
Baby being my second, Lil Baby.
Okay.
Super Uzi fan, so I have to put Uzi on my third.
Okay.
I don't even know who would be my fifth.
You forgot fourth.
Fourth or fifth. I'm not an old guy, so I'm not gonna say all the old rappers, but I'll go for my fourth.
It doesn't have to be rappers. It could be any artist.
Any artist.
If you don't say one person, you're fake.
Rap, whatever.
I actually don't know, to be honest. Up in the air. I don't know.
All right, so let me modify the question for you. What are your top 5 songs listened to before a game?
Oh, dreams and nightmares, 100%. Got to put that in there. After that, it just gets thrown around. Some Uzi to just jump around. You know me. If you know me, you kid with me, I'm always jumping around doing the most.
All right.
Type of song. So I actually don't know after that.
DQ, who do you model your game after?
I knew that question was coming. Honestly, no one. I watch a little bit of everyone. Like I try to steal everything possible. Again, I'm not gonna steal something from Shaq because I'm not 7 feet. I'm not playing the 5. But from 1 to 3, 1 to 4, or positionless basketball that they were in now, like I steal a little bit of everything. My top guy that I watch probably the most is Dame and JT and Dev. Those 3 guys, probably guys that I watch the most. So,
speaking of Dame, are you gonna get those the Ric Flairs?
Unfortunately, checks over stripes.
All right, cool.
So, and I'm not gonna wear Adidas ball kicks for the Nike jersey. So we'll keep the Kyries on my feet. I'm not gonna do all that.
Fair enough. Ottoo, on a day off, you don't have no work, you don't got to do anything. What does a day off in the world of Kevin Ottoo look like?
Playing video games, chilling with my mom, checking on her, making her smile, just having a deep conversation, asking how she is, how her week's going, and just searching for shoes. Always looking for shoes. Always. You never catch me. Always. Shout out Street Sneaks. Make sure you guys go follow that page on Instagram. Heat soon be on that page, man.
All right. DQ.
Go, bro. Just go. I know that laugh means, bro. Go, bro.
What are you gonna do next year to make sure you get that 1,000-point club?
Well, this guy's laughing. Well, people don't know. Yes, I'm top 10. But I'm not just top 10. I'm number 6 on the list. I'm 2 points behind 5. I'm at 761. The exact number. I had to look it up for this. I had to. So I'm almost there. But what am I going to I'm having surgery, so first come back from surgery 110%. So that's the first thing. But honestly, once I'm able to start moving again and just get back in the gym 24/7 and play with confidence. I think the biggest thing for me at Humber, there's games I didn't play with confidence. And it showed. And I feel like what also happened is that I took the back seat to make others happy. And going into my last year, I don't plan on being in that situation unless it's like, unless it's worth it. Like, we're going to win nationals if I'm taking a back seat. But other from that, like, I plan on stepping into like that role for this year.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. Kevin, it's my last quick hitter for you, for both you guys. Okay, first one for you, Kevin. You know what? I'll go DQ first. Actually.
Solid.
DQ.
Yep.
If you could rewrite your history and you could rewrite where you want to be right now, anywhere you could be D1, you could be pro right now, you could be anything in the world. You're after your grade 12 to 5th year. Rewrite your history. Where would you be going your first year of university or college?
I could pick any school.
Any school.
Honestly, growing up, I'm a Blue Blood fan. So I gotta be one of those blue jerseys. Duke, Kentucky, gotta be one of those. But honestly, any D1, just get the experience. Definitely would have graduated because I feel like that's the biggest thing that guys forget is that, you're there getting a free education, leave the piece of paper. Because if you can't play basketball again, what's under your belt? So any blue blood if possible, graduate, and then wherever I end up, obviously everyone's gonna say it. Everyone come on this podcast or this interview, what we're doing here, they're gonna say NBA. Bro, put me in the best situation where I'm gonna be rich and help my family. Because I can go to the league and make $10,000, or I could go to Spain and make $5 million. Send me to Spain, please. But yeah, that's just me.
I got a question for you though. Hold on. What was that noise you heard in the background?
I got family over the little ones. People that I don't know. I'm a family man, big on it. Got a little daughter. So she's turned 10. She's actually 10 months today. She's 10 months. So
congratulations.
Family man.
Congratulations.
So she's probably screaming up the place. So once this is done, I gotta go see what she's doing. So
fair enough. Ottoo, you could have first of all, what are your top 5 shoes of all time? Not yours personally, but what in general, what are the top 5 shoes in your mind? And on top of that, if you could take over any brand, what brand would you take over?
I didn't hear the last part you said.
If you could take over any brand, what brand would you take over? There's 2-parter to that.
Say hi.
Top 5 would be, I'm a Super Ones guy, so my top 5 would be Travis Scott ones. Top 3 will probably be my second. I want Air Max. So Air Max would probably be my third.
Okay.
Nike Air Max. I don't even know. There's so many shoes just blowing my mind right now. Shatter backboards are probably my fourth.
Okay.
Jordan 1 shatter backboards. And
wait, which ones though? Which ones?
Oh, the old ones.
The twos?
100% the old ones. 100% the old ones.
Okay.
I got the 2.0, so
Shout outside for the OGs. And I don't know, probably an Off-White collab. Probably one of those.
On-Flight?
Yeah, Off-White collab.
Okay. So what if you could take over any brand? Is that the brand you'd be taking over?
To be honest, I'll take over Jordan.
Why?
I'll take some of the shoes, but Jordan, because Jordan has I like all the retros. Jordan 1s, Jordan 4s, Jordan 5s, Jordan 6s. So I don't really wear Nikes. I only wear it if it's like a collab kind of thing, but 100% Jordans because I'm a Jordan guy.
You don't have a pair like just everyday
100%.
walkers?
I'm not saying I don't have a pair of regular
Well,
Nikes.
that's how you made it seem, bro.
No. Let me rephrase that. I have Nikes. The ones I wear the most are collabs.
Okay.
Which ones? Wait, hold on. Before we end this, which ones? Listen to this everyday shoe, guys. No, say it. His everyday shoe.
Most times you'll catch me wearing my off-white Prestos. Most times. Those shoes are very comfortable. They're very comfortable, and I recommend them to anybody. Off-white.
So
grocery shopping.
How many pairs of shoes do you have in your locker?
In my locker, like in my vault?
No, in your locker at
Humber.
Oh, I have like a good
0
4
now.
or 5 pairs.
5?
Yeah, 5, 6. I like my options. Every game, I take 2 pairs of kicks. Doesn't matter where I'm going.
I'm gonna jump in. If you walk into our locker room, you probably have more shoes than your average person in there. Because not each guy, some guys have their 1 pair of shoes they practice. Guys like me, Kev, Sai, Keith, we have shoes we practice in. We have 3 different pairs of the same shoe. We have our gems, we gotta put these out once an occasion. There's shoes upon shoes upon shoes like that. That's one thing. We have too much. It's shoes ain't it, bro.
But Sai is the guy. Sai has
the guy.
So many pairs of Kobe's in his locker. He has Kyrie's creeping out the bottom of his locker, kicks in the trunk. Like Sai always has reinforcements on days in his locker. Like Sai, don't try to move humble.
No, I don't know what these guys are talking about, man. I'm retired.
Now you are.
What the heck?
Now you are.
That's crazy. But anyways, guys, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you for taking the time to talk to our fans today, talk to the kids. This is definitely a good time to talk about everything that we spoke about, and you guys really opened up today, so it was good, and we appreciate your time. This is Talk Your Exposure, episode 5, featuring DeQuon and Kevin. We are out.